Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. That's right, no countdown this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's because I have familia in the city. So we're going to find out what's going on. I didn't check my messages, nothing until now, but nonetheless, I'm glad you're here. I'm here. And where are the emerging millionaires at? Because we need to improve your credit score, reduce debt quickly. What do I mean by quickly? Within a year, year and a half, 2 years. That's what I mean by quickly, without filing bankruptcy, without doing debt collections. That's what we're out here trying to do. And the number one thing, invest in yourself, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to need to make additional streams of revenue. You need to make extra money that's not going to be dependent on a job or anybody else. So, with all that lined up tonight, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here on this Friday night. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas time. A lot of people got paid today. It's a Friday, and they're out Christmas shopping, buying liabilities for the most part. Well, let's just say 99% is liabilities. That money could have been diverted to buying assets that pay you. Most often, people go with the stock market. Well, if the top 10% of the wealthiest own 90% of the 93% of the stock market, don't you think you should be in the stock market too? Just saying. All right. Now, happy holidays to everybody. Hopefully, everything's going well for you. Now, let's get into the first thing first. Findhelp.org. If you're in America, put in your zip code, findhelp.org. There's services that are available to you that you do not realize that can potentially help you, family members, loved ones, friends of yours that are having problems. Financial difficulty is 8 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck, and then it goes downhill from there because at least they have a paycheck coming in. Findhelp.org can actually help you get help that you need all across the board. I mean, transportation, even down payments, help with payments on rent and mortgages, things of this nature, just for starters. Help with loved ones' mental capacity or caregiving. Help with job training. Some are free, some are not, but you need to call contact to check. All right. Need help with transportation. Could be subway, could be buses, could be something else. It's there. There's so many things there. That's what the bottom line is. We need you guys to give you things that's going to help ordinary citizens, OCs. All right. First things first. If you have anything to say, the comment section is wide open. But we're about to improve your credit score. First things first, very simple. We have our own special link to Smart Credit. That's your first line of defense. You go over there, check out your credit score, or you can go over to Credit Karma, things like that. That wouldn't be a problem. But Smart Credit is in the house. Use the link. They oftentimes have special deals, especially during holiday times, where it could be $1 for 5 months. or each month $1, or 6 months, and then you pay a higher amount. So it'd be well worth it just to get that. So then you can understand what you're looking at. It also has your hiring index score, has your FICO 10 score. You should not be buying cars right now, especially on credit. All right. So all of that and more is behind smart credit monitoring system. The other thing, uh, $1 million for fraud, identity fraud. And the cool part about it is your address or whatever address you use for your credit, if that's the same address as your family members, then it covers them too without paying anything additional. All right. So that's the first stop on the tour to get you started. And the second stop on the tour, because I need you guys to get your debt down by December 31st, 2026. I need you to have a credit score of 775 or higher. That is the flow chart here. You have plenty of time to get it done. Make sure your payments are on time. Make sure you reduce your debt down to under 10%. That's how you improve your credit score. It's got to be around 5, 6%, 4%, 5%, 6%. You got to have something, not zero. Got to have a little bit on there, right? But your overall credit. So just so there's no misunderstanding, we need you to have your credit such as this. Let's just say let's see, I need 3 credit cards. Okay. All 3 cards are $700. Let's just say all 3 cards combined is $2,100. I need 5% across the board. So one card could have $200 on it, or well, we're doing $700. So 10% is $70. Another card has 5%, which is $35. But those two combined does not equal 50% or 5%. Okay. Those two combined in our instance so far will be, what is that? That's it's going to be over that because the average is going to be the difference between 70 and 35. So that'll be 5 5% more, so 7.5, I guess. I haven't done the math. I should get a calculator out. But nonetheless, all I'm trying to say is the total is 5% is the goal. So if 5% is the goal, you can only have roughly, what is it? Oh, here, I'll do it. I got to use a calculator. My brain is fried today. I've been working on some other things and dealing with some family issue. So that's one of the things. But here, hold on a second. $105. All 3 combined should have a $105 balance. So if one has 70, another one has 35, then the other one being paid off would give you a 5%. All right. So under 10% is great, but we need you closer to 5. Stay in that area. All cards. So I know some of you are going, Eric, hold on, man. I got $5,000 cards. I got 15,000. Well, there you go. 10% is 1,500. Half of that's $750, all 3. Get working. Some of you are looking at me and listening, going, Eric, come on, man. That means I got to pay all this in 12 months. Well, that's the goal, ladies and gentlemen. We need you there. I always give you a little runway, but I always give you the first stop on the runway before it starts. But if you can get there sooner, all the better. All right. Now, some would say, Eric, how can I get there better, sooner, faster? Well, I don't know if it's going to be so much faster because we have our girl, family member, Tracy.Sharpe at moneyladder.com, which I'll give you guys that information. It's going to be in the chat room. Now, some of you, I'm going to do 2 things because some of you are going, well, Eric, why should I wait around? I just need some credit added to my credit score that adds the total amount. Well, that's one way to do it. You can use self-credit. You can use a few other different options. Let me pull them up too while I'm at it. Um, if you want to try and jump the shark, so to speak, and just get your debt down or your debt to income ratio down anyway, get your credit card debt down. Let me do it this way then. Here we go. Uh, here, if you want to do that, here you go. Self and credit strong. The thing about self and credit strong is you get yourself more in debt to get a trade line, but that trade line is basically an installment trade line, which is still good because you're on time payments. You have more on time payments. The bad news is you have a little more debt, right? So the good news for both now is as you make your monthly payments a few months in, you can get a secured credit card. Now, the secured credit card is revolving credit, so that can actually help reduce your credit line amount. So, therefore, that could reduce your debt on your credit profile. Okay, I put it in the chat room for everybody as well. Now, those both give you that option to get a revolving credit secured card, which is fine, but the money's on the card. So let's just say it's $500. You just don't use it. That'll give you a zero. But again, that helps you throughout your card. All right. So with the, hold on a second. Oh, man. Debt resolution, debt consolidation is what we're going to be doing also. So I want to be able to get you guys to consolidate without filing bankruptcy, without getting into debt collections. If you can make a payment, how would you like to make a payment that you pay right now, but pay it off sooner, or have a lower payment and pay it off sooner? These opportunities are available. We just don't know which one until you contact Tracy. All right. You're going to contact Tracy, Tracy. That's why you always have your pen, pad, and paper ready. Tracy dot Tracy dot Sharpe, SHARP as in Paul E. Okay? It's that simple. Don't get crazy out here. In fact, let me do something else as well. Come on. Let me see something here. Yeah, I'm going to check out this video. She worked for another company about almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. We did this video, but I'm going to give you her email address that you get in contact with her, and you can check out when she worked for the other company. All right. But you hit her up on moneyladder.com, Tracy, Tracy. You can see it in the chat room. It'll be down below in the description box. This is how you can improve your scores faster with the tools that I just gave you. They're going to be, if you watch this on replay, it'll all be down below. All right. It's that simple. Improve your credit, ladies and gentlemen. There's some ways right there, and you won't regret it. The reason why I need you to understand the 0% for 24 months that has now started to populate. They have the 18 months, the 21 months, the 24 months. Black Friday or the week or something, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a 0% interest. This is a credit card for 36 months. It was like for one day. Can't find it. Only those lucky enough to have received something, you're the only ones. I can't find it now. But I'm thinking next year, for sure, there will be 0% for 36 months. But you're going to need, and I'm only saying this, but I don't know if it'll be even need to be this high, but I'm trying to get you at 775, because if you're there, then you get offers in the mail and you don't have to go hunting for nothing. All right. Just saying. Basically, you'll start rising to 780, 785 and all that. You'll be in the game. All right. Because you want that 0%. If you're going to have credit, you want it to have 0%. Some of you right now, just think about this. You're sitting over here having cards that have like $5,000, $10,000, and you're making your monthly payments with barely any of it going towards your principal. Imagine if all of it was going towards your principal. Almost all. I shouldn't say all of it, but because you have annual fees and things, but still, it's almost all of it, right? Imagine making a $400 payment, all of it's going towards it. $700 payment, all of it's going towards it, right? Couple of them combined, $1,000 payments when you have multiples. Imagine all of it going towards the balance. Now you're going to say, okay, Eric, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I'm making these payments. If I could free up $400 or $500 a month, bingo. Now you have money to make investments with, money that can earn while you, right? It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Why play games with yourself? Make it easy. Talk with Tracy and she can help you get your debt reduced and still pay it. And after you clear the payment, 1 year, 1.5 years, or 2 years, then you are in good standing with them. You're not on debt collections. You didn't file bankruptcy. You didn't get any trouble financially. So you're good. All the way around, it works. Just saying. All right. So that's how you improve your credit score in a short period of time. Do what the big boys do. That's right. The wealthy. They get debt consolidation loans. They get extensions of their credit. They get all kind of crazy deals because they have the wealth. Wealth creates this as well. If you have assets, then you get to use those assets and they give you favorable rates. See, so take your pick how you want to proceed. But if you don't have the assets, you're not going to be able to get those special deals. So your credit's going to have to be your asset. In this case, some of you have assets, you go down to the bank and start talking to them. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have anything special right now." Well, that's right now. When things hit the fan after the holidays, because everybody are using their cards. Remember, 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck in America, 85% in Canada. People are swiping right now. When they have to start paying for their cards and people start defaulting after about 2, 3, 4 months go by, they'll be a little bit more favorable. You see how this works? It's supply and demand. If they don't have enough good paying customers, then they got to go hunt and find the ones that do pay, and they're going to give them special deals. That's why you're going to be on the program for 0% interest for 36 months, and you transfer your balance onto that card. Again, if you're paying 27, 20, 17, 18, 30, 35, it ranges. Percent I'm talking about there. All those percentages means you guys should really look in your accounts and see what the projected payoff date is by you paying close to minimum. It's not very good. Not very good. So what Tracy can help you with is get it reduced. They work in the background saying, "Hey, try to do a deal." They get you good, going good. All right. So then even if you make the same payment amount, at least it's getting paid down faster and at the same time clearing your credit and making it better on the other side, which is what you need. So get started right now, ladies and gentlemen. Now's the time. Get going. Don't delay. Brian P., Mr. Dividends here. He's out here doing the salsa dance tonight. And oh, by the way, I have not checked my emails, but I will. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Happy day, Eric. Happy day to you. It was a great day this afternoon when we had the stock trading for beginners. I hope all is well with you and your family. It's going, man. It's going. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. That's right. Give it a one piece. Got to do it. I'd appreciate it. Everybody on the podcast, make sure you guys hit the hearts, the check boxes, the circles, whatever the case may be, to indicate that you are following. Even that star. We love it. The star means favorites, by the way, on most platforms. The Sirius XMs and all that, right? Come on now. Show some love. We're trying out to help you, and your family needs help too. So while you're driving around in the ride, they should be listening to some of this. All right? We always got to make more money, right? And today we started the stock trading for beginners by them having the Candlestick Bible, because the Candlestick Bible itself only is a learning tool. But that learning tool, teach a man to fish, he can feed himself for a lifetime. Isn't that the biblical way? Gotta do it, ladies and gentlemen. Holds true no matter what century it is. So let's do it. All right. And speaking of that, I gotta be nice about it because he smashed that like button. That's right. Now, here's the Candlestick Bible that we always drop now, because you got to be serious about making money. You want to be an emerging millionaire? Well, guess what? It's hard work. And by the way, it's going to get harder. Some people would say, why? They're going, well, AI, ladies and gentlemen, you're competing against AI. You already have, first of all, you know what's funny? You already have people, here's the Candlestick Bibles down below in the chat room, and it'll be down below in the description after this live stream. So if you're watching on replay, there's no excuse. Everything we're talking about is down below in the description box. That can help you out. So I was just getting ready to say the by the way. And now I've lost my train of thought because I was thinking of something else that just popped in my head. See, this is what happens when you're out here trying to help people. All kind of things come while I'm midstream. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I got to tell them about this. Oh, yeah, we're making money in here. That's what we're trying to do. So anyhow, I lost my train of thought, but it'll come back. But we need you guys on board, because living paycheck to paycheck, we need you to have disposable income. We need you. Candlestick Bible. You're going to have to read it. And it's 168 pages. And as I was saying, as the teach a man to fish, and I still can't remember where I was going, but nonetheless, this is how it works. But you're going to have to learn different ways that you can generate money out of thin air, because AI, that's where I was going, is taking jobs. And this is where I was going, is can you believe people use Chat GPT to write information at their jobs, at schools? So basically, it's almost like cheating, because you have something that's already in the ecosphere on computer systems, and it's gathering all this information, and you just need to put in parameters and it'll give you whatever you ask for, whether you want a book, a manual, a pamphlet, a paragraph, summary. I mean, it can do all of that without you actually having to do the work or learning. That means a lot of people are going to be in what I used to call the microwave. They're the ones that are sitting there trying to cook something up in less than a minute, thinking that it's all good. But there's one problem. Just because it responded to give you the answer, you don't know how the answer was derived. That is a problem. So you're going to have a lot of people that won't know hand-to-hand combat. Hand-to-hand combat means I need to know, in the case of the candles, I need to know, why is this candle going up? Why is this candle going down? That means that you will be able to trade. Once you understand, you're sitting there going, well, this is 90% of the time, this is probably what's going to happen based on everything I have in my parameters. That right there in itself gives you an advantage. Whereas 95% of people using the Chat GPTs and everything else, they may lose. And again, I caution everybody. Day traders, 90 to 95% of anybody trying to do stock trading lose. The new people, that's the number you can Google. 90 to 95% lose money when they start trading. Why do people lose money? Various reasons. Anxious, getting in before you realize what you're doing, just like anything else, right? The microwave. Oh, it's all right. I studied 5 pages. I studied 10 pages. I studied 50 pages out of 168. I know, I think I can do it. No problem. Let me put my money over here and let's go off to the races. No, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The odds of that working is slim. To be successful, we're talking about success here. We're not talking about losers. We're talking about, if you want to be the best, how many people are watching this that's part of the upper end of their field? Ongoing training is always a thing. Making new connections is always a thing. Something that stimulates and that you got to study to make yourself better. And the overarching recon fact, I got to be the best. There's only a few people that says I got to be the best. Then there's some people that says, well, I'll learn, I'll get in the flow, but I don't want to be a leader. Nothing wrong with any of that. But the bottom line to the story is the closer you get to the top, the more studying you do, the more connections, the more places you're looking for information to give you an edge. Anybody see that Wall Street movie? Blue Horseshoe, right? You got to get an edge. You're following people, right? Hey, this CEO was over here in the meeting with these lawyers, and oh, by the way, this other company over there, they were in the same meeting. And then I know a guy that I went to school with. He's a junior partner, and he says, yeah, they met, but he can't say nothing else. But that gives you an advantage. Looks like there might be a merger in the works. Now, are we getting a hostile takeover where the stock price is going to pop? See what I'm saying? I'm not saying do that. All I'm saying is that's an illustration that they were going above and beyond to get information. And that's what you have to do when you want to be the best. So when I start out with the Candlestick Bible, go there. I did put it in the chat, didn't I? I hope I did. I better have. Let me see if I didn't. Then let me put it in here now. Yes, I did. So there's no excuse. There you go. There you go. Right there. Okay, let's go. I see somebody here, L Cool J. I love the name. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. And he brings the tagline, heard a rumor that debt consolidation loans give a negative stigma on credit report. Is that true? I don't know, quite frankly. It all depends on how it's done. I'm not referring to debt consolidation like you're thinking, like you're throwing it all in one pot. It all depends on what the creditor does. We're doing debt reconstruction. So on the other side, because this is the key, if they're doing debt consolidation, that's a loan, though. Also, we're not trying to do loans. What you're trying to do is you're doing what the big boys do. What you're doing is there's, in this case, hit up Tracy, her email. You guys have it in the chat. So they're restructuring your loan just like a corporation does. And then they make an agreement with them and you're still paying them. It's a restructuring. So that means you could either pay a little bit less or they took off some of the interest. All different type of things can happen. But once it's paid, it shows good. So you're not doing debt loan where they throw it into a loan pack. By rights, if you start talking about consolidation and they reduce it and they don't have an agreement, then that would mean that you could be having whatever negative you have already could stay there. And since we're doing 2 years, that's not good, right? We don't want that. But I don't know. You know what? Here's what's funny. I don't know the answer to that, but hit up Tracy. This email, Tracy, Tracy, at Sharpe. Hold on. Tracy dot Sharpe with an E at the end at Money Ladder. Hold on a second. Oh man, I was gonna ask. You know what? See, we can ask AI these days. Let's see. Let's see what AI says. Everybody's using it. Why not? Let's see what they got. Read this. Pros and cons. Well, there's no AI. It didn't say one way or another. Just says read this. Again, I don't do debt consolidation, but talk to somebody that's in the biz. Tracy, Tracy.Sharpe, SHARPE, at moneyladder.com. Go hit her up, ask her. All right? Because she's in the biz. She's been in the biz. So go see what she has to say about that. All right? because there's a bunch of people, but they don't talk about if it's good or bad. They just have pros and cons. But I'm not going to waste time with that because I don't know. So we have a simple email for you. Tracy, Tracy .sharpe, SHARP as in Paul, at moneyladder.com. Hit her up. She'll tell you. All right, L Cool J, that's the best I can do. Let the experts talk. I'm not an expert in that field. Post-retirement travel, Mr. Worldwide 2 is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Another investor's here. He brings his tagline. It's very simple. Hello, all. Let's do this. Exactly. We do this, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do. And we try to help you as well. Let's go. Backed up the truck today and loaded up. I love the blood smell at the stock market. It was a shark feeding frenzy for me today. I know, man. I did a stock trading beginners video today, and you could see there was a rise, and all of a sudden, and everything matched up. Bitcoin had the same down. Everything, the top 30 US stocks, everybody. It didn't matter what it was. Gold, it did not matter. All four charts, different commodities, different stock. It all went at the same time. You see this straight down line. That's incredible. And what you love is back up the truck. You have to. This is the time, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? People are selling their stocks at the end of the year because some are losers. Hey, you know what? What's funny is there's only like the top 10% of the stocks are pulling up the stock indexes, and the rest are like L's. There could be a lot of people shredding stuff just to get the tax write-off for next year or the year after that or the year after that. But all I'm saying is that's why there's volatility in the month of December. People buying, people selling. There's all kind of good things happening. So I'm very, very happy to hear what's going on. I was looking at charts, and while I'm looking at charts, again, I'm studying still. I'm only on page 70, like I said. Still on page 70. Let me go look at what happened. I can't. What's this? Trump expected to sign executive order to reclassify marijuana as soon as Monday. Don't tell me back to the DOJ legalize where you can go to jail, for 20 years for a pound of weed or something. Man, that would be just wrong. Something tells me they'd rather lock people up because when you get $775 per day, locking people up is better than getting them a job. I mean, if you want to make money as a government, build more private prisons and try to charge people for everything. Immigration coming in saying bad things about the government. Deport detention centers. Now, I mean, I haven't even read the thing. I'm just going by their playbook. Yes, it was a red day today, just like it showed. And again, it wasn't at the end of the market either. It was early on. So people had opportunity. If you were paying attention to the stock market, you had an opportunity to win huge today all the way around. And now that we had Dow, S&P, all red retreats. The S&P 500 hit a record today, then retreated. All the indexes are at all-time record highs, and the Federal Reserve is about to print more money. This is why your credit will be a great asset later. Now, some people are like, Eric, come on, man. I don't want to get into more debt. Well, see, therein lies your responsibility. Once you get the great credit score, once you reduce your debt, now you're supposed to go buy assets that pay you. If you're going to use your credit, you're not going to be buying liabilities. You should just be buying assets. Just like right now, during Christmas holidays, people out here swiping their card for, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what's the average purchase price. I should use overall purchase prices for Christmas, what people consider Christmas gifts each year. I wonder what Google's going to say. I just want to know. I'm curious. I never knew this stat. Okay, average Christmas gift spending in the U.S. hovers around 900 to over 1,000 per person. Wow. Wow. That was in 2024. So clearly it's going to be higher this year. Why? Because the cost of goods and services are higher. So even if you buy the same thing, it's going to cost you more. So that's per person. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. Here's the other question, right? Um, for instance, how much was Christmas spending by USA citizens in 2024? Here's the total, right? That's what I'm looking for. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. 994 billion. 994 billion. Nearly $1 trillion. Can you flip the script? What if people said, you know what? Here's your Christmas gift, $1,000. I bought you 10 shares of Netflix. I mean, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying buy Netflix. I know it's under $100 right now. It's dropping like a rock. It's probably in a buy zone for some of the analysts, I'm sure. But the point I'm trying to make is you could be like, hey, and by the way, look at this. You know what? That means the big boys probably dropped, right? Let's see who dropped today. Nvidia. I know that's going to be what, 170 or something. So 6 or 7 of those shares. I don't really care. Apple, whatever. AMD's, Tesla's even. Tesla gets a pass all the time. Their stock's at 400 and some odd dollars. They have fake robots, fake robo taxis, not up to par on anything. Sales of their cars are low. And now long-term Tesla cars just got the worst rating. Below Jeep. Unbelievable. But yet, no end in sight for their stock price. They're using auto telepathy to run the robots, acting like they're real robots. That's crazy to me. And they're getting away with getting government contracts. It just bugs me. AI generating basically pennies on the dollar. And the evaluations are well more than pennies on the dollar. It's acting like these things are worth $1 trillion and they're not. So all of this has signs of kaboom, and you got 1 year and 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of 1 year and 2 weeks, it's over. December 2026, I need your credit score to be at 775 or higher. So you can take advantage of all of the opportunities that your good credit will be able to handle. And that means buying assets with it. Home prices, we can just say they're just going to be either what they are now or higher. It doesn't really matter because it all depends on what's going to happen with the bond prices. There's people who probably were looking for homes and they found out that their interest rates were around 6 point something. I saw today they rose, which was funny as hell. I started laughing. I was like, yeah, because your US 10-year yield is 4.816% right now. And they like to have a couple of points. So it would make sense if it was around 6 to 6.5%. So this thing about people thinking somehow it's going to go 3.5, sorry, you're in the wrong business. In order for you to get a 3.5, you're going to have a corporation. You're going to have to be a bank, and you're going to have to deal with the Federal Reserve that's going to give you guys loans for their low federal funds rate. Ordinary citizens, that's not you. You can play one, but you aren't one. Neither am I. So get real. All right. And by the way, a house is a liability. People in Florida, people in Cali, people all over the country are finding out a liability means when they can call you up and say, you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance. And by the way, you tell them, but hey, man, my insurance, it went up an extra $200 a month. They're like, so what? And I know there's some of you watching right now. You got your mortgage because your insurance and property taxes are included in your mortgage. And your mortgage went up $400 or $500 per month. And there ain't nothing you can do. Just saying. So that is going to continue. States and government have no money. So you're the asset for them. They're going to take your stuff if you don't pay, and they don't care your condition, your financial condition. All right. So just those are things to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm glad you backed up the truck as you should. All right. L Cool J. Okay, thank you. All right. Once again, let's go. 100 pages of what? If not that many candles or patterns, I would recommend studying candles, then watch the market as much as possible. BTC 24/7. Watch the chart. You'll learn faster. Hey, MDA 0214. We trying to go with the basics. I'm not trying to give anybody anything crazy, but if that recommendation from a guy that actually does it, that's fine. Everybody can do it their own way, their own learning experiences. I just like to read myself. So I like to try and keep things. You can only keep so much in your brain because you can compartmentalize. But the fact of the matter is, I still like to have it handy. I still like to read it. You can also uh, listen on the audio books and things of that nature. But again, I don't agree with none of that because I need to see it. That's why I always talk about it as we talk today, CoinX or a trading platform. I don't really care. I just use CoinX, so I always have to drop the link because they do have demo. And again, I explained all the time. Every time I drop this link, I'm going to explain. It's very simple. They are not regulated by the United States. Like Coinbase. Well, Coinbase isn't a platform, but I'm just saying, like Tasty Trader, Ninja Traders, and all these guys, right? So that means, okay, I always have to say this because when I talk about that, I put the link down there. Everybody who signs up with CoinX, you get a link. Then you're on MT4, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. They're the simpler, MetaTrader 4 is simpler to start with, so it's easier. So the thing is, they have a demo. You can have a demo account so you can practice. MDA, we were talking about this before, 0214 earlier today, this afternoon, about the uh, using the demo money versus real money. There's two sides to everything. Some people say, well, the demo doesn't give you the heart pumping because there's no money. And other people like me, like that's what MDA says. Me, I say I need to learn first before I start doing the money. So if it takes me a month or two or three, then I'd rather do that than worry about the money because 90 to 95% of new traders lose money. That's what the numbers are. So I'd rather you learn than if you lose money after you're learning. But again, everybody do your speed, do how you learn. Everybody learns differently. All right. I like to take my time. That's always been a thing. It doesn't even matter if I'm buying a house and I come and see a house and I love the house. And in my brain, I'm just like, yeah, man, I think I'm going to buy this house. But then the problem is, I still look around just to see what else is on the market. And then I'll tell the realtor, take me over to this house. I want to see this one too, to make sure that's the one I want. I want to check a few others just to see the feel, the placement of everything, and make sure this is the one. So oftentimes, whenever I buy something, they always go, well, I didn't even think you liked that house over there because you told me after that one to go check out this one, go check out that one. I said, yeah, because there's different neighborhoods. I said, I don't do things like everybody else. I need to come at 7, 8, 9 at night when it's dark, when it's 5 o'clock in the day. I need to come in the morning. I need to check at night and see what the lights look like on the street. If there is some, not some, what if people are out hanging out? I don't want to live in that neighborhood. So I said, yeah, I got to just in case, because I got to go back for my reviews before. And another thing, I don't buy houses on the spur neither. Somebody says, oh, yeah, you got other buyers. I'm like, okay, I'm not done with my review yet. So I don't really care if there's other buyers. You're like, well, I lost a few deals, obviously. After a day or two goes by, and I say, yeah, maybe I'll go get this house. He's like, hey, man, somebody already put in an offer. Um, so Unless you're going to go higher than what you got, you're probably not going to get this. So I'm like, oh, well, cross it off the list. And of course, the realtor gets a little irritated, right? He's like, damn, man, if you like the house, why don't you just put an offer from the get go? I was like, I wasn't so sure. And now I don't really care. It's like, so let me move back to what I'm going to do. And so I just get everything. So when I get the house, I love it, right? So that is, or properties. It doesn't matter. This same process works for me on properties and everything. I just take my time. That's just my process. I don't do things like, I get annoyed when they say, hey, man, you better hurry up, better hurry up. I'm like, man, just stop. I don't hurry up for nothing. I just make sure I feel comfortable. So just keep that in mind. It's your processes that matter the most. If you can do things quicker, then do them. If it takes you a little longer, then so be it. Everybody is different. All right. And you guys know that from school. You know, there's always the guys that go, hey, the teacher goes, hey, did you read that assignment last night? Raise your hand. And people raise their hand. Then they pick somebody and the person goes, well, I kind of read like the first page. It's like everybody does things differently. So just check it out. But anyhow, here's the CoinX. It'll be down below for everybody in the description box. It's in the chat room right now. That is a affiliate link. Everybody who signs up with CoinX, you have an affiliate link. So you can share it with everybody. All right. Doesn't You'll have yours, I have mine. It doesn't really matter. But again, the reason why I use them is very simple. They're not in the United States systems. All right. That's it. Some people would say high risk. I don't really care. It's high risk keeping my stuff in Coinbase or anybody else in the bank, anything. When you have money stolen, I keep saying this from the governments, institutions, and state institutions, you start thinking differently. All right. I don't want them guys anywhere near. The maker of the 20K Neo robot has a deal for 10,000 of its humanoids. Yes. Are you referring to the one in China? Again, China's kicking our ass, ladies and gentlemen, and we're sitting over here playing games. Robot maker 1X made a splash back in October when it opened pre-orders for its Neo humanoid robot for home use, not least because of its 20,000 price tag. Now it's making another splash with the deal. What, 10,000? That's interesting, Brian P. For home use. Not least because of the 20. Now it's making another splash with the deal for up to 10,000 of its humanoids to be deployed over the next 5 years. Oh, man. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this. Wait, hold on. Neo. Oh, they have ADRs, right? Let me go look. Hold on. Let me see if it's an ADR in America. Neo is a ticker for Neogenomics. But isn't that in stocks like Tesla and Symbotic, SYM? No. No, no, no. I thought they had an AD. No public stock. Wait a minute. It's Neo? No, the company is involved in cancer diagnostics, not consumer robotics. So Neo is not even in America. Whoa, that's crazy. That is cray cray. Nice. Wow. They call themselves NEO, but I guess NEO is the ticker of. That's not the same company. There's no stock. Wow. Wait a minute. There's something. Oh, I think it's okay. This is the diagnostic company, but it was not highly impressed with their little video. I'm like sitting there watching them do stuff, but I'm like, hold on, man, back up, back the camera up. I want to see nobody in the rooms. I don't want to see nobody around. I want to see how you command in this thing. Let's see how it's going to do on its own. Because I know there's no way you're just showing them doing this little stuff like this and walking and doing stuff. But I'm like, how do I know you just didn't have something to place them over there? I'm not impressed. Because again, this telepathy thing that Tesla's doing led people to believe that they had robots that can work by themselves. When in fact, that's not the case. Crazy stuff. Crazy, it's crazy, crazy. My recommendation was to trade with a small amount. Can deposit $10 and buy one share of BYND to practice. Yes, you will lose real money, but it won't be much. Yes, exactly. I agree with that 110%. If you're going to do it, go to the small stakes. Small stakes first, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get carried away because the odds are you will lose. 90 to 95% lose. That just tells you if you think you're special, you're going to be one of the 5%ers without knowing nothing. I'm just saying I mean, there's our geniuses around here, but most people aren't that. So it's best that you do what you got to do. And there's a demo. And then there's, like he says, you can do a little uh, practice with a little bit of money. That's how you test, do testers. All right. So we have your credit, right? We got you all ready, ladies and gentlemen, I hope. So you understand the assignment, reducing your debt. I hope you have that information. You understand the assignment. What else do we have to do? Invest in yourself. Self-improvement, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over the place, all over internet. You can get free self-improvement. You don't have to buy the books anymore. Come on. Let's go. Even go down to the bottom of the description box and sign up for our social media platforms because I post generally once a day some sort of motivational message, right? Just saying. Sometimes twice a day, but most of the time once. I used to do twice, but I'm getting back in the flow now. I got the lab, but unfortunately, I got to go back to Vegas. All right. In fact, I just realized, let me see, I won't be doing a live stream on Monday. Unfortunately, I don't think. No, definitely not. It's going to be 12 o'clock. I'm flying during this time. So it's like, oh, wait, I might, hold on. Yeah, no way. I'm flying 7 in the evening or something. So, yeah. And it takes like 3 hours to get to Vegas. So, yeah, I won't be doing Monday's live stream, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? It's bothering me about that. I'm gonna have to figure out something because I've been moving around and I'm not able to do some of our live streams. So maybe I'll do a premiere. How about that? Which isn't really live, but nonetheless. And I'm flying on a flight that does not have in Wi-Fi on plane, so can't do it from there either. So nonetheless, just letting you guys know, I'll figure out something. All right. So maybe we'll have a volunteer. I don't know how I'm going to do that either. But anyhow, we'll try something. All right. Maybe I'll have somebody, one of you guys can contact me and you want to do the live stream. Just saying. All right. You want to be the host. You can practice a little bit. All right. Before Monday night. All right. Let's go. Check out emails. I knew you were going to say that. Bad news. Oh, man. Come on. Come on. You know what's, I know what's coming. It's just going to, it's just going to be bad news. I know what's coming. It's recalls for food. And that's if your food is bad and your drinking water's bad, then you're going to be bad as a human being. Your fresh water's messed up because you're by a data center that eats up all the water and turns it into toxic garbage. And I'm very proud of where was it? I can't remember, but a place decided to not have a data mining company in their backyard. Kudos. People are waking up. I mean, this is what they do to third world countries, by the way. That's why these corporations go outside of America and then they make their manufacturing facilities that give out toxic chemicals and throw in rivers, streams, oceans, because they're in a third world country. And then people say, well, that third world country is bad. Yeah. And then they rape the natural resources from them. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. So when people say, why don't these guys come out from, whatever, it's like, no, you don't understand. There's an 800-pound gorilla sitting on top of everybody's chest and making them pay and killing them at the same time, taking their resources, not giving them what they deserve when they work. So it's a whole ecosystem that feeds the top nations, like the EU. They extract goods, resources from Africa, for instance. America does the same thing. Okay, so while you're extracting all that wealth, you're killing people to boot, and then you say they're the bad people when you're already stepping on them, the 800-pound gorillas on everybody's chest. And they don't pay people accordingly either, right? So you got to understand what's happening. But I won't get into that tonight. This isn't that talk. I don't like bad news. Check out your emails. We'll get to the emails in a second. I'm having a little problem. Let me go a different route. I'd like to put it up on screen. Let me see a pack and play. Yeah, man. Pack and play is no problem. Let me see if I can get on my phone because I'm having a problem. My computer, one of the reasons I was a little bit late today, my computer, it shut off. I didn't realize the electricity was out. That's bad. Very bad. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me right now. Because I had everything up. And then when I was like, why is my computer out? What's going on? I'm looking around like, what's happening? Yeah, I was messing around with some things and I blew it. So that's what happened. All right. Invest in yourself also goes with, and my kick right now is because there's only a few fields that you can be in that you can rely on yourself without outside interference, right? One of them is trading. MDA 0214 does. DIM Powell's does. Uh, Brian P. I don't know if he does individual trading, but he does dividends. We have post-retirement travel, has a wheel. He does options trading using the wheel concept, which I still don't know what that is because I can't learn that right now. I got to learn this trading thing right now. Like I said, I'm not good enough. I'm pretty good, but I want to be better before I start throwing some more money into this project that I call it. But once I get it and feel comfortable, then we're off to the races. We'll be fishing for life. So that's a good thing without any restrictions. And so I'll get back to the other thing that I was talking about earlier with CoinEx, because CoinEx, we are sitting here loading up your account using crypto. And so we have to send crypto to the account, which is fine with me. No problem. You're regulated in the United States. You use your regulated exchange and you send it over for the most part, or whatever country you're from. But the thing is, on the way out, I've been looking at other things because I am familiar with outside the United States using your prepaid debit cards. Well, in this case, a crypto prepaid Visa card, right? So instead of sending my money back to the exchange in the United States, I'm going to send it back to my card. And I can use the debit card. Now, the thing is, it doesn't have your name on it, so you can't get a cash advance, just so you know. All right. But you have a way. What is going on? You have a way to use it. Okay, we have a problem here, ladies and gentlemen. There's something new that I haven't seen before. Why are these guys changing things up? I'm sorry. I got something new on my email, and I don't even know where to look. This is crazy. Okay, maybe this is it. Oh, EV Place. I forgot about Blue Marlin. Oh, I've been too busy. I've been wrapped up with some family matters, unfortunately. Um, That's has distracted me from what I needed to do. But I think I found it. I think I found it. Okay, we're all good. Make sure you guys smash that like button. And by the way, oh yeah, I'll get into my Invicta watch again. You guys know I'm a lover of Invicta because they got the 50 millimeters, the 55s, the 45. They even have 60s. It's out of control. But one of these days, well, I will never have my 60. I won't show you because it has this. This is rare for them to go with a diamond pack 60 millimeter, and it's crazy. Um, but I put it in storage and I haven't seen it. So if I find the box, I'll show you guys that one. But I have another one that I like that I'm wearing tonight. You guys see it, it's orange. Hold on, I missed somebody up here because I mentioned DIM Powell's and I thought I saw him earlier, but I guess I didn't. Maybe it's just my brain frying. Okay, here we go. This too. They bringing back the 0% APR. It's up from here. Let's go. Exactly. 0%. They have 11 billing cycles, 18 billing cycles, 24 billing cycles right now is the maximum you can get, even though the 36 did come up. I predict in another 6 to 8 months, it'll be 36 months. Because again, as I was stating before, because there's going to be over $1 trillion being spent on credit cards, that people are at maxed. So where are you going to get new customers from? The new customers you want are going to be the ones with better credit. They're the ones that's going to have incentive for special deals. They're not going to care if you have good credit. This is just let's just put things in perspective. If I had just like right now, the 0% interest, the card comes and says 11 billing cycles, 18, 11 months, 12 months, 18 months. You're looking like, why would I do that? That's stupid. Why? Why wouldn't I just get to 24 months? Why even sign up for 11? That's stupid, right? 12 months, stupid. That's crazy when 24 is available. The same thing's going to happen when there's 36 available. Why are you going to sign up for 24 or 12 or 18 if 36 is available? That'd be crazy because it could be taken away at any time, meaning the offer could go away, right? So nobody else can sign up for it. So you want to max it out. Just like right now, the offer that we can't get any offer that says zero, or I shouldn't use zero, but we can't get an offer of 3.75% interest only for 15 years like a corporation can, right? Or a high net worth individual can because they're friends with the banking system. You can't get that. So what's the next best thing if you're just a consumer? You go, okay, 0%, 36 months. Let me take that. Why would you take 12 months? That doesn't even make any sense. Let me get the perks. Just saying. All right. But yes, let's go is right. That's exactly right. I knew I missed something because I skipped because I didn't see that before either. I did see we were making money in here, but somehow I skipped. I think because I started searching. I started searching and skipped. It happens. That's why I'm going back right now. Okay, do you read these comments? Because I got a question. Was that the question about the debt consolidation? I don't know about that rumor. Like I said, hit up Tracy. She'll tell you. She's family, so she'll tell you. Shark freeing Finzi is an understatement. Understatement. All right, so again, I'm going back to the CoinEx. All right. Uh, Tamara Larry, hello again. That's right. She was here earlier today for the trading. I'm not showing trading. I was just showing the charts. Again, I'm not a master. I'm not a trader. I haven't been doing this past 2.5 months. And even the first month, I wasn't trading at all. I was using an Autobot. And then I realized the Autobot's on something else. Once I started learning, because MDA0214, I'm giving him credit when he goes, man, you should just learn how to trade. Don't forget that Autobot thing. Now that I started understanding what's going on, I was like, man, why I wasted money to even buy it, even though I have a lifetime license, but I still wasted money because I don't really want to turn it on. It works in a certain way. So like, for instance, today when the market dropped Drastically would have been a good day. Trending down, a good day. Trending up like most of last night and early, not so much. All right. So staying level, trending downward, stay not a big drop, but even a big drop would help. A big upward spike, not good. So that's how the bot is. So now that I know that, yes, I can use it. But again, that's just another supplemental pack because it can make so many trades within 30 seconds. So it gives you an advantage, right? But does not matter that much. So I figured we'll get it. Eric, as of last week, no updates on the Margaritaville Bongolas yet. I plan to go often, including this weekend, to stay ahead of the crowd. Key is to get yourself on the waiting list once it's ready. Okay. Okay. You're gonna have to tell me what this Margaritaville Bongolas are. Yeah, I missed a bunch. And oh, by the way, he's got the icon next to his name, which I forgot to mention. Thank you so much. I humbly appreciate it because he's a member of the channel. So I appreciate that. We are now monetized once again. So I thank you so much for your support by being a member of the channel. All right, Eric, I continue to hear great news about Mishi's. We may have to incite that one realtor you had on your show before. We need to get updates of properties inside any of the mega resorts. Yeah, I'm not down with the condo hotels. You know that. That's going to be a disaster, I believe. Condo hotels, it's you only get 45 to 50%, and you have restrictions. Generally, you got to be in the rental pool. The rental pool is shared rental pools, and if you're not in the rental pool, then you can do long-term rentals, yes, but you can't jump back in the rental pool. So, well, you can, I guess. You got to sign a contract. But the point is, you can't do short-term rentals. And you can generally just stay there in low season, probably a month. In high season, probably a week or 10 days. So you're basically, it's like a timeshare, right? So, and why pay three? Well, not three, but well, in Mishi's, yeah, why pay 200,000, 250, 350,000 for a hotel condo? That's crazy. All right. To me, crazy. All right. I don't remember having a realtor on talking about Mishi's. Maybe I did. Remember, my brain, I do something when, you know how when Mr. Wonderful goes, "You're dead to me." That's what it's like. After I do business with people, after they are idiots or screw up and things get kind of crazy with money, and I go, "You're dead to me," my mind just, that compartment starts getting closed. I don't remember nobody unless I see your face. I don't remember nothing. I'm just like, okay, I'm not going back there. That part, that journey's over. But if I had somebody on here that was cool for Michis and doing something, then yeah, they can come back on as long as they were cool. So I'll see what I can't remember anybody from Michis though. There's projects out there, yes, but nothing. I was going to do the project out there, but I can't remember. There's a boardwalk. Cheryl, she's on the billboards. Can't remember her name. It's Cheryl something. She has a project at Macy's, but it's in the mountains. I'm going to tell you right now, since I was going to get property that's on the rolling hills around that lake, they got a little lake. It was going to take a year and a half to get the title. So I know for a fact she has a year and a half. But the thing is, she has acres and she's putting condos, villas, and other things and on that acreage on the rolling hills. So just to get that subdivided and titles and all those, not all, I always use all, but a majority of those titles are family. So it was going to take me a year and a half, best case scenario, to get title because the family, grandma, great great grandparents signed over these little deeds to their grandkids and whatever, great grandkids and all this stuff. So, in order to get that all together, you're looking at a year and a half and then another year to get your title for the whole thing. That's for the whole thing. Never mind subdivision. So this project, she's been out there a while, so she might be able to move things a little faster. But for me, that project in Mishi's, I'm like, I can't even see how that's going to be finished unless she was working on it already a year, year and a half, or 2 years. But you're talking 3, 4 years before, well, my estimation, 2, 2.5 years before she can start doing something. All right. Because I'm giving her credit for being there and doing other projects. So I'm thinking she might have some connections, right? Where she can speed it up, right? So that's what I'm thinking. But that's what we're talking about. It's like you can't say it's going to be ready in 2, 3 years, the first phase. That's all I'm saying. That would be well, it doesn't matter. It's not suicide because people don't care in the DR. If it's 5 or 6 or 7 years later, that's the norm. So you can tell somebody it's going to be 36 months from now, first phase delivery. But if it's 60 months, people don't care. Me, I'm bitching, right? I'm bitching because we're watching the stock market double over the 5 or 6 years you're talking about. And I'm not saying my money would have doubled, but I damn sure know if I gave you $50,000, I know in 2 years I should have 100 at least. If they didn't double twice, okay, I'll just take 50%, 50%. Fine. That means I should have 100K. Meanwhile, you got my 50K and I don't have a building and I can't rent out and make some revenue from this. But I damn sure could have did nothing and just that 100,000 could be 200,000 now, and in best case scenario, 250 or more. But the fact of the matter is, that's what we're dealing with right now, and that's why I had a problem because everybody who got in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Meanwhile, the stock market's doubled under Biden, doubled under Trump, and better because if you're holding like, I still can't believe Tesla performs like it does. Um, but and Nvidia, I mean, Nvidia 3 years almost, yeah, 3 years ago was only like $50. Now it went up to 1,000, dropped back down 10 to 1. Now it went up to 178, 170 to 200. I mean, that is crazy just on those two stocks alone. If you would have had just a little bit of it, would be crazy. Meanwhile, you're sitting over there with, and then the worst part is 99.9% of all projects are going to tell you after they are late, hey, I can't charge you the $120,000 like I told you. You're going to have to pay an extra 10% or 15 or 18 or 20%. And now you're like, what? That's the reason why I did this. Otherwise, what are we doing here? But nonetheless, you don't pay, you're not getting title. So that's where we go with all this. So again, we'll see who you're talking. I don't remember the person, quite frankly. I don't remember the person. Jonathan Rodriguez, very happy to see you tonight. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. And he says, SSN always coming through with the gems. Thank you so much, man. I humbly appreciate that. Appreciate you being in the house. Make sure everybody you smash that like button. All right, Eric, FYI, Robinhood now offers banking services. Yes, we knew. Well, did we not say you guys should have HOOD? This would be a good day. Come on now. Oh, I can't even get into. Okay, Brian P, you might have to do. Wait, hold on. I signed in already. You signed out of my account? No, I did not. I had to put in my code and everything. What y'all doing? That's crazy right now. They're killing me over here. They don't want me to get to the news. They know I share the news. See, this is what happens. Hey, you know what's funny? You guys remember last year when we were talking about Max ETF? Remember we'd start talking about Max ETF and then all of a sudden the stream would like cut off or get disrupted? It was funny as hell every time. And people would be like, nah, nothing's wrong. And like every time we would talk about it, cut. We got to cut that. Don't let them talk about them guys. Yeah, at the time, rising and getting 50, 60% on return on your money. You know, they're like, nah, don't, you got to stop this. He's talking about it. No. Um, that was funny stuff. All right, let's try this again. Why am I not getting in my account? This is funny. I even had to put in codes and they're not letting me in. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see. Maybe I messed up by not giving my other code too. Maybe that's no, man. I already did this twice. All right, I was going somewhere. Now I forgot where I was going. Messing around with this. All right. Oh, HOOD. That's where we're going. HOOD, ladies and gentlemen. What you doing over here? HOOD. Pay attention. I like Hood. I like Hood. Look, today down 3%, down to 119.50. We like that. We like that. We like that. That's opportunity. Oh, and Nvidia is down to 175. Coinbase, oh, wow, 267. Look at this. Tesla at 458. It rose today 2%. So Hood 5 days ago, Monday was 135. Today, 119.50 close. And after hours, went down to 118.92. But think about this 52-week low was $29. 52-week high, 153. And yes, you got to give it up to Robinhood. They're incredible what they've done. So their market value reflects it and they're making moves. So I gotta give them credit. Gotta love it. Thanks for mentioning it. Post-retirement travel. That is cool. All right, let's go. Did you see this? Omega pennies, last ones ever pressed in Philadelphia and Denver, sell for 800,000 at auction. Oh my God, man! Come on, man. I believe it. I believe it. Whenever there's collectibles, you know how that works. That's it. Yes, Cheryl Henderson. That's it. I think she is originally from South Carolina, but she has been living in Punta Cana for years. Yes, she's a rock star in Punta Cana, generating tons of money. Her face is on billboards. Exactly. And she has Boardwalk. I don't know the actual name, but it's Boardwalk something. Um, so that's how you do it. But yeah, that's her. Cheryl Henderson. That's it. On billboards and everything. She's been, and she has by Captain Cooks. She owns, yeah, Maple Beach. She got her hands on Maple Beach project in El Cordacito. She's making the second part. The one bedrooms were 170,000. That means the two bedrooms must be over 200 or 195 or 210. I don't know. But they have a beach club that she got next door to Captain Cook. I think is next door. So I don't know what that entails because, I'm sure they'll have a restaurant, ocean view because it's on the ocean. That's pretty cool. And so now, if you own at Maple Beach, you can probably go to that beach club. And then she's doing that Mises one. So I've never had her on though, because I've never seen her, never spoke to her or anything. But I should, because the prices over there were good, but they escalate because the name Mises. And again, I really have to tell people I don't think you're going to see something for 4 years at least. I don't know what her payment plan is, but it's not relevant. Um, I just don't see how it can be done that fast because, like I said, I was getting ready to do some deals out there, and the acres that these people had all had these deals, family deals for the titles, and they look at those in DR, and so getting all the family members to sign off and do all this is going to take time, and they were giving me like a year and a half just to get that done, and then another year for the title on the property. Then I got to subdivide it. So now we're talking 3.5 to 4 years. That's why it was going to be conducive for my payment plans. I was like, well, we'll just have 4-year payment plans. And people would have loved it. And actually, I was going to even have a 5-year one just to have first phase, second phase, just to make sure we could actually do it. So then I had a year of, in case there was a year delay, before building, we were still going to fall within the parameters, right? It was nice and simple. I wasn't going to try and do no 36 months and then tell people, oh, we're going to be late like usual 5 years. I was just going to make the payment plans 4 or 5 years. Low payments, And the guys got mad, like I told you guys before. I was telling them, I'm actually going to put up a live feed. So then all people have to do, log in, let's see what it looks like. Let's see the progress. So obviously, and I would just tell people, look, I'm not going to be able to do anything for at least 3 years. Tell you exactly what I'm telling you tonight. The guys all get mad. I'm like, why don't you just tell people? But see, they're in it for another reason. They're trying to collect as much money up front. I wasn't. So there's a big difference. But they were getting mad when I was describing what I was going to do. And they're like, man, don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, because now I was taking over. And they didn't like that I used the word takeover. I said, yeah, everybody's going to like it when they come and they see. And even if I don't do anything for 3 years, at least they can log on, go on their phone, look at their laptop, computers, at work, whatever, and be like, let me go see what's happening at that site. They see nothing, but they know nothing's going to happen for 3.5 years. 3 years, nothing, because I got to do paperwork. So meanwhile, you guys pay a little bit monthly. Simple. I said, but here's the thing. If I complete that assignment before 3 years and we start building in 2 years and people see that we start building before schedule, that means people are going to be happy. Even though their payment plan is still out, but that just makes it easier for all of us. I still get to deliver on time. They see progress. And every day they can log in and be like, okay, nobody's working today. But hey, a week from now, hey, something moves, something's happening, and it's a live stream. They were like, nah, man, don't do that. I'm like, nah, man. Y'all don't want me around here. Got to stick to the U.S. market. U.S. market is the largest market, so that is a good advice. How many stocks do you own? Now 5, I think, or 6. Actually, actually, I shouldn't even say, but I got like 5. But there's a brokerage account there, and I got some other stuff. So altogether, probably 10. That's it. At one time, it was way more. All right. But I've shrunk it because the winners and losers is a lot smaller. So we got to play with the big boys, right? Okay. Cheryl Henderson was a weekly Punta Cana. Oh, really? The project property she's selling is at El Cordecito is attached to the resort that has a contract with the U.S. Department of Veterans. Yes. Guaranteed income. Yes. She actually has something to do with that Department of Veterans Center in Punta Cana at Punta Cana Village. Downtown Punta Cana. That's right. She does. So yeah, she's doing big things. So it's pretty cool. All right. So yeah, the portfolio has shrunk, like I said. At one time I was doing the yield maxes. I had a lot of those, the CONY, the PLTY, the ULTY, the Y max, Y mag. I mean, a bunch. Dividends coming in, JPQ, JPQ, uh, Real Estate Investment Trust, ORC, PSEC, uh, what am I missing? ARR, uh, of course, the NVIDIAs, Apples, VOO, VOOG, VGT, VTI. So, you know, but I shrunk down. Bitcoin, Ethereum. So actually, yeah, I got more than 10 actually. So it's probably more like 15 when I had Bitcoin, Ethereum, just so you understand. So yeah, but it's all for different things. So again, I started redoing some things because I'm trying to deal with a trust situation, right? So the idea was I'm going to do a trust, and I need to. I'm trying to put it in a trust account so it has their own money making venture inside. So that way, that's why I had to redo some things. So ongoing. But I'm just letting you guys know a trust, by the way, is what you need, not a will. All right. Kamal Seawright, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream with the donation. Thank you so much, man. Oh, man, I humbly appreciate the donation. Man, hey, Eric, are you still doing trade lines? I can. I haven't been doing any trade lines, but I can do trade lines. So you have to hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com, support@stopstrugglingnow.com, and I can let you know. All I need from you is I need to know if you know the amount you need, and then I need to know what credit line amount you need is what I'm referring to, and how many years. All right. That's what I would need if you send me something, what you're looking for. All right. But yes, we can still make it happen, man. All right. We still have our connections, irons in the fire, still all good. Okay. We're getting back to the business at hand, by the way. Okay. What is this? I got some crazy, crazy stuff happening here with my email. I got some stuff that I've never seen before. I guess Microsoft must have changed up. Oh man, they did. Because this is not good. I'm trying to get to the Brian P. He told me that things are going to be bad. I gotta, I'm trying. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta have something to drink. All right. Thank you for waiting. Now, I'm having all kind of issues with my email. All right, let me go look and see what Brian P's talking about. Appreciate it. All right, thank support@stopstrugglingnow.com. That would work. I will agree with MDA0214 regarding staying with U.S. market. I not only do that, but I try to stick with ETFs, currently only selling cash secured puts and calls with SPY and SQQQ. Hey, we all agree with it. The same thing. The same thing. Like I said, today, what were we on? We were on SPY, we were on BTC USD and SPX USD. We were on gold XAU USD, and I think there was a fourth one. Maybe it was only three, but all had the same chart, identical for the 1 hour. Or yeah, it was a 1 hour. All identical drop, all nearly the same. There was some slight variations, but yeah, there was people being able to, if you were trading, you would have been able to take advantage. Huge on this downside. Huge, huge drop. Crazy. I agree with all this because this is the most volatile. The other, like the London Stock Exchange and the US Stock Exchange, overlaps like in the morning times. So that's why there's sometimes a lot of volatility. And generally, the US stock market just moves. I mean, all of them do, but it's like the US one is more, I guess, I don't even want to say volatile. It's just that at least you have up and down. Remember, if you're doing stock trading, you can win on both sides. You can trade for up, which is when we're talking about puts and calls, which I don't do options. But puts is one way, calls is another. So one goes up, one goes down, you still win. Same when you're doing your individual trading. I love how we can go up. Like I was doing XAU USD last night, it had a trend up for like all night. Then today, the news comes straight down. So you could have made money on that uptrend and that pummel that took a little bit of time to come down. That big drop. It would have been a nice payday for that. So those are the things that you can do when you trade. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Um, but you guys have traders here, so they're giving you great advice, right? You want to be an emerging millionaire, listen to the guys that do it. All right. Again, I admit I'm a beginner with this trading. 2.5 months. I go by time. I can talk because I learned certain things, but I don't know like these guys have been doing it for a while. So they're seasoned and they're kind enough to share their point of views. And you guys should be listening. You should be taking notes. Don't be out here like these chumps, all right? Don't act like, hey, I know everything and you just heard from somebody. You didn't go look at charts. You didn't go read. You didn't go look at anything. You heard what they said and then you act like, well, I know everything. Don't be that person. If you want to be successful, you have to be able to take criticism and you have to understand you may not be the smartest dude in the block, right? So you have to listen to people that actually do it and have been doing it. You have to take that weight. You have to listen. If it doesn't align with what you're doing, at least find out, right? Don't just go, well, he's been doing this for 5 years and I can't get there yet. No, learn. Just keep going. All right. Don't sell yourself short, ladies and gentlemen. All right. A lot of people sell themselves short. I see this all the time. When you start saying back in the day, we're not talking about trading, but we're talking about business, right? That's what trading is. This is your own business in reality. A lot of people say, well, go get an LLC, start a business, da da da, right? But again, not everybody can do that. Some people say, well, I'm going to start an LLC. So what do? They go down, get an LLC, file the paperwork. And then after a week, 30 days, it's very hard. Whatever they thought was going to happen is not happening. So then they just abandon. That's it. They didn't even sit there and try. They just abandoned. So we don't want you abandoning. We want you to learn slowly or jump in a little. But either way, you got to do something. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right. You don't have to trade both ways to make money. Some traders only trade up. Exactly. Even in a bear market, there will be stocks going at times. Exactly. It's just whatever you feel. It's however you want to do it because there's so many opportunities, right? Some people are like he said, just trade for the upside, the buy side. Others are like, I'll wait for the sell side. And so they look for the signs because they are kind of definitive once you start paying attention. And then some people, like another friend of ours, he actually, like I said, he does the whole markups, highs, lows, does everything. And then he says, all I did was tell Chat GPT to send me alerts. I was like, what? So that's how he set his up. Chat GPT sends alerts to him somehow. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Chat GPT other than asking questions right now. But apparently, I guess he probably in the pay mode. I'm in the free mode. I don't really want to use it that much. But he gets alerts for what he's trying to do. So he also told me he uploads charts to Chat GPT and was using the advice from ChatGPT on what to do with whatever chart it is. I wasn't there in person, but that's what he's telling me. And he's saying that works. I'm just like, oh, this is getting crazy. But again, he's been doing it already for like 9 months. 9 months. That's it. And he goes, all I need is like $300-400 a day. And he told me something that he does that he's the only person that ever told me this. He says, he does a stop loss $10. I said, okay, all right, that's funny. But that's what he says. He says, hey man, I'm only gonna lose $10. And I'm like, that's pretty wild. But he's giving me all these markups, and he says I do things on Monday. He says he marks up Monday, doesn't trade on Monday. He says he trades on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after he marks up everything for the week on Monday. I'm like, he's the first person I ever heard this, but it works for him. And he says all I need is like $300 to $500 for those days. He goes, if I get once I reach 300 to 500, I just close it down, shut it down, going about my business. Because the guy actually works 2 jobs and does the trading markups just like I described. That's right, not 2 part-times, 2 full-time jobs. And does the markup. That's maybe why he marks up on Monday. But nonetheless, that works for him. So he's winning a lot of trades too. So again, he's not losing. So everybody has their own ways of doing things. I want you guys to understand, if you're starting to do trading, just keep that in mind. All right. And he's the only person I ever heard of. He said that because traditionally things consolidate like during the week too. So I find it very interesting that he's able to be successful trading using Monday markup. He said he doesn't do Sunday night or anything. He says Monday. He doesn't even trade, he said, on Monday. He says he trades on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we know there's volatility on Friday, but he doesn't mess with it. So I'm hoping to get the time. So when I get back to his area, I want to go actually see what he's doing on Monday. So that'll be next month. But next month I'll be in his vicinity, so we'll see what he's doing on Monday because I want to see this. I like to learn too. Because if it's successful, I want to see because it sounds easy to mark things up. I want to see what he's marking up. That's what I want to see. I'm pretty sure it's he like he said, he does the 4 hour, the daily or weekly or something. I can't remember because he was going through stuff back when he's talking to me. Some of the stuff is using terminology that I didn't never heard of. So yeah, that too. He's trading futures too. Yeah, thank you. Right, exactly. 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 Must be trading off the day chart. Yeah, probably because I don't know what he's doing. But like I said, he started naming off I'm doing this for the marking stuff up, the day, the 4 hour, the weekly. I don't know what he just started naming stuff. And he's using like at the time he's using like D1, H4. And I'm just like, okay, whatever the hell he's talking about, man. I'm like, then I find out later because I'm opening up in the demo mode and I'm saying, oh, he was talking about 4 hours. He's talking about daily, weekly, and all this stuff. I didn't realize at the time. He just assumed I knew because he knew ever since. And in fact, he's a young guy. Ever since he was a kid, he knew I was the business guy, right? And so he just probably assumed that I knew how to trade, but he knows I didn't because I was telling him. I said, "Hey, man, your mom just told me, gave me this stuff," and I was like, "I'm learning," and that's when I talked to him. You know, so yeah, yeah. So that's what he does on Monday. But I don't know what exactly how he's doing high lows or what else he's doing. I don't know. But he's being very successful with a few $1,000s per month after working two jobs. I mean, per week off of just 3 days of trading. So a few $1,000s per month is, hey, that's life changing for everybody. 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So, and one of the things I'll just give some more business since nobody knows who it is, but the man has like four children. So, and they're under 18. So, you know how much food costs right now. And he's got a couple superstars that play sports. You know how much money this costs. And the twirlers as the females, the little girls into all these activities. You know how much all this stuff costs? Two jobs and trading. It costs an arm and a leg. All right. Um, Post retirement travel, he's echoing what MDA0214 is saying. Start with a small amount of money initially. Also, stay humble. I agree with that 100%. You have to. Don't try to get cocky and super aggressive. Exactly, especially with current volatility. Stick to your process to develop confidence. Enjoy it. Hey, again, ladies and gentlemen, a guy that does it. This is exactly words of advice. This is what I'm saying. Being here in the SSN Nation, you never know what great advice you will have. But I thank you, Post Retirement Travel and MDA0214, for spending the time to give up some knowledge. The only way to mark up stuff that early, it would be close to accurate in the middle of the week. I used to trade off the 4 hour chart when I was working. Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but I'm going to tell you guys how he does it when I see it in person because I find that fascinating when he said, I immediately responded with Monday. I was like, for the week. I was like, what? I was like, that's bold. I was like, okay, well, we'll see. So I want to see it myself. Okay, hopefully you can get the strategy and pass it on. Oh, that's the point. I will, Kamal C. Right. Thank you so much again for that donation. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I will. It will be in January though, because that's when I'm going to be back in the vicinity, so I can go and see on person. I don't like, hey, well, I'm going to show you on screen. No, I'm coming over. I'm going to sit right next to you because see, there's nuances. So for him, he might be saying, well, this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do, right? But I want to see because there's always a nuance on something. He might be looking at something else, but he's using that something else to click on what he's doing. So I want to see it. Just like anything, processes matter. What you know is second nature. And so you skip because you're thinking, oh, this is easy, so I'll just go what the process is. But in reality, there may be a little more to it. So I want to see what it is in person. All right. But I will pass it on. Trust me. because I believe people should do this because there's only a few places. Like before, we have Airbnb, eBay, we have social media where you can make money, right? But as competition changes, as they start changing algorithms every year, you never know. You could be the one that's cut off, where you start having less viewers, or you can't connect. Whatever the case may be, it may not be forever. So, again, this is why you need to control you more than ever. Because, again, there's only a few places where you're going to be able to control it and not have to leave home. See, that's the other thing. Whenever you leave the house, that's an expenditure now, wherever you go, right? So that you have to consider, and creating a business where you have to leave or get an office or home office. Either way, expenditures, you're trying to reduce expenditures. This is one way that you're almost a dollar to dollar. I don't want to use a dollar to dollar because when I have to use crypto and I upload it, obviously I have a little fees, right? But USDC or whatever, Tether, there's hardly any fees using those, right? So, but the point is, it's not one to one because I'm going to lose 3 or 4% or 2%, whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying. So if you are successful at this, you actually have a lifetime that you can do something because they will never take away stock market. Never. No matter who has world currency, it will never be taken away. All right. Because otherwise, America wouldn't be able to function if there was no stock market. Let's just get real. All right. So that's why this is the last bastion. If you don't have jobs, livable wage jobs, and then you get into it's now's the time to learn. You know, if you have a job, you should learn now while you are able to pay your bills. Because once you go to where you can't pay your bills, this is what happened with other friend of mine that was a trader because they got into a probate scenario. And so now they had to divert funds to lawyers. So now when they go trade, they're a little afraid because some of that money, if they lose it, because they got to pay mortgage, they got to pay all this stuff for this other property that wasn't theirs. Now they got to pay an extra $3,000-4,000 a month, right? In order to go through this probate, court dates, and all this stuff. Now they're trading differently because they're afraid to lose the money. And so they're not trusting their reads. So when the market fluctuates where it looks like they could lose, they all of a sudden want to pull the plug quicker, just like when it rises. Because now in their brain, they're sitting there going, because I was sitting right there. In their brain, they're going, well, okay, it's up to 2, it's up to 3. And they're like, when it got to that range, they're like, maybe I should just take. And I'm sitting there going, well, what do you mean? You can see right here that it's got a runway because look at all the wicks came down. They wiped that out. It's got a runway. We're going with the sell. And I'm like, and she's getting ready to pull the plug around 100. And I said, why? You got a runway all this way down. The buyers are already exited because they had a little consolidation up top. It's gone. And then the big wick wiped them dudes out because if you didn't sell when it was up there, you damn sure better have because the wick came down. So they would have lost a lot of money going down that far. But the wick came back up. But I said, so that it's just going to keep coming. So it went down to 100, 125, 150, 200, 250. So I said, okay, so how about that in like, it was like literally 3 minutes or less. I said, well, 250 is pretty good in 3 minutes or less. So what happens? It goes to 250, goes back to 200, goes back to 150. But because it did that one, went back, and I'm sitting there when it went to, well, it's a slow roll. It went like 200, 175. Then it came back 190. Then it went back. And then when it snapped back up to 150, I said, okay. And she's like, oh, I should have did it when it was over 200. I said, yeah, that's what I was saying. But see, now it turned into, well, if it popped back up, and I'm still going, no, it's going to go back down. But then go out. And it was like 150, right? Then, of course, still sitting there, 175, 200, 250, 300. And all of a sudden it started dropping. But because money was a little funny, to MDA 0214's point earlier today and here, when it's live and people have to worry, they do things differently. And in that case, that was totally different. Me personally, I wasn't in the trade myself because I'm sitting there studying, but it's only because what I learned my little bit of stuff. I was like, no, look, I was explaining exactly why it should go down. And so I would not have left the trade because I was telling them, I said, no, no, it's gonna come down. But because it was funny money, no, I'll take the 150. It could have been two. I would say 250. It might have been 230, 240, 250. But at that point, being greedy because it was 250. And I said, is that good enough for you? Because you said 200, if you would be good with 200, 250. And it was only like 3 minutes. So why wouldn't you just take the 250? But then it was like, well, it'll probably go lower, 300. I was like, okay, see, should just whatever you're comfortable with. Now, when it snapped back to 150, now you're worried about it going back to 100 or less. So again, that's the thing right there that you got to be careful about. He definitely don't use stop loss or it's way out. Wicks on the daily chart could make you lose a lot. No strategy is universal, different risk tolerance and personalities. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Because them wicks are wild. Because some days I see these long, I'm like, geez, it's a wipeout. It's crazy how that works. Damn, trading with money that you owe. I can't do that. I only trade options with my beer money. That's just me. Hey, that's exactly right. It wasn't so much owed, it was so much you have money, bills are paid. But the thing is, how much is the lawyer going to cost me? Because I'm in this probate scenario, right? How much is so you're thinking that two, three, 400 you could lose. You're thinking, okay, I'm making 200, 150, 200, 250. Man, I should make more, but I don't want to take it for 250. And then it drops to two. Now you start seeing 175. Now you're like, oh man, I could have had the 250. Well, yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But now you're hitting the eject button at 160 to get 150 or whatever it was. And that's what the problem is. Like you said, when you have to worry about the monetary situation. So that's why I again, it's everybody's going to be different, but I think you should have your goals and stick with it. But just like gambling, people just get crazy. Like her goal was only like 200. But yet when it got to 200, no eject button. When it went to 250, no eject button. And then I was like, well, what's going on? And see, again, me personally, I would have hit the eject button if my goal was 250. That's when I would have hit the sell. I mean, I would have closed it out. Um, but everybody's different, you know? Like I said, that's why you have to be disciplined. No matter what you do to be successful, you have to be disciplined. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up an hour and 48 minutes. I thank everybody tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for the donations. Kamal C. Wright, I greatly appreciate that. And we received another donation tonight as well, two of them. So I want to say L Cool J, I believe, was the other one. So I thank you so much for the donation as well. Let me make sure. I don't see, I would be able to see it in the other platform. But I thank you so much for the donations this evening. Greatly appreciate it. I appreciate everybody being here. I love you guys very much. And I thank you so much for your contributions to what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people out here. All right, hold on. There's one last thing we're going to. Oh, man, what is going on? Oh, they're hurting me out here, ladies and gentlemen. They're hurting me out here. This is something thing I've never seen before. Where is my emails? Oh my God. EV Place, help me out. Jeez, man. He's not here tonight, but I'm just yelling out his name because he sent me something about the Blue Marlin. So I can't even see any more emails. I can't see emails tonight. This happened once before, too, where I couldn't see anything, but it's all good. It's all right. We've had a great conversation tonight about the credit, great conversation on tools that you can use. Yeah, look, this is sad. This is very sad. Blue Marlin, Los Corrales. Let's see. What? No. Okay, so here's the thing. Blue Marlin, he has a penthouse unit, which is a pre-construction project. They put the stairs on the outside on the balcony. Now they're moving the stairs inside. Again, I don't know how. You clearly there's nobody checking for building inspection. All right, so now they had to move it inside. And since they're moving it inside, he bought the place, this penthouse, unbelievably. I believe it's only like 50 some thousand, one bedroom penthouse in Los Corrales in Punta Cana. So I'm looking at something right here, and they're saying they want $4,500. This is insanity. For their mistake, their BS. They're going to charge him, which is not, it's what, 7% or something, 8%, 8.5%, whatever, because of them doing stupid stuff. This is what I'm talking about. This right here is so annoying. So now he's going to have to pay an additional 4,500 is what it's saying here. I don't know how it ever turned out, but he's just sent me some message. So I guess all the people that have the penthouses, this is what they're dealing with. And they moved him, which is another problem. He was at one end of this project. Now they moved him to another end, a unit that he doesn't even want in reality, because the other one he was, I guess, north, I guess, and this one's south. And I'm like, man, they got nerve, straight up, crazy. But unfortunately, I don't know what the heck's going on here. This is like isolationism. Isolation. This is insane. What the matter? Come on, man. Where are my emails? I even have something else down here. This is interesting. What's this? No, 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 no. Okay, well, uh, Brian P. I'm not. I'm not going to be able to see any recalls, so I might have to make a special video over the weekend. But I want to thank everybody for being here. I love you guys very much, and I'm going to have to shut this down. But please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. All right, let's see. Oh, that's the banking services, the pennies. Thank you for that. Oh, okay. Thank you for the donations once again. And it'll be in January before I'm able to get that information for what my friend does for that weekly chart he does on Monday. All right, it'll be like the January 10th, 12th, somewhere in there. All right, so we'll see. Um, Biggest amount you lost in one night? Never. Um, Never. Maybe 500. I really can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was only like five. I play no limit. No is another thing. Um, maybe maybe 1,000 because I can recall some hands where I was in jeopardy. Maybe 1,000. I was pretty good. I was pretty good in cash games. Because see, cash games, no limit. People aren't acting stupid, right? Maybe 1,000, I would say. Max could have been 1,500. Again, if I had my, um, I recorded everything. If I had a recording, I have all my hands, all my tournament, all my cash games. It's written down, everything, because I filed taxes as a poker player. So I had to have every session counts basically. So I would have known, but I think it's not that much, 50, 1,000, 1,500, maybe, because my win rate when I used to play was so high. It was like 60% for the first 3 years. 60, crazy, 66, 64. That's pretty good when you start doing hands, because hands are variables. So you could have one hand that's 5 grand, 7 grand. So you could win that. Then you have another hand, you lost 3 G's. So it fluctuates. You could be in another hand, 25 grand. So there's all kind of, it fluctuates. But because my win rate was so good, and that my 66% was based on my sessions. And so all my sessions combined was 66%, which is crazy. But like I said, people started getting better and better and better, and I started dropping. So that's one of the reasons I stopped playing. Because it's no fun when it dropped to 40. 40 is still good, but now I have to play longer to win the same amount of money. And then when it dropped into the 30, my last year that I played professionally, it was in the 36 to 38 range, somewhere in there. I could give you, actually, if I had my portfolio, I could actually just tell you. I could read it, but it's somewhere in there as far as that's when I started getting. When it dropped to 40 something, that's when I was like, okay, people are catching up. They're playing different. They're playing more aggressive. They're playing where you really don't know. People bluff with nothing, so therefore it changes the dynamics. People are willing to die, as I used to call it. They're willing to give up all their money for a bluff, which most people, it's like hard to believe that somebody's going to, throw money into a pot all in with two players in with a bluff, right? You're like, but that's what people started doing. But again, the landscape changes when people are able to borrow money. They're making special deals. They're sponsored, like myself. So you have people playing with free money. You have people playing with backers. So there's a reason these people are throwing money in with nothing, because that also gives them an all ins, because we play all in, right? So they're thinking, well, there's 2 or 3 people in the pot. I'm going all in. So unless they got something real heavy, they're probably not going to call this. And most of the time, that's how it goes. But it got real crazy. So then I was making moves because I was pretty sure dudes aren't, playing garbage. But again, that only works. Remember, even if you're ahead, 90%, the person still has 10% chance to win. And the 10% comes. Just like the 9 out of 10 comes, the 1 out of 10 comes too. And remember, it's based on each hand. Just because I won 5, 6 hands in a row, don't mean I turned the cards over and I got like a 70% chance to win. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I stopped playing, 1 outers, 2 outers started happening. I'm like, now the other side to this is I also get a 3 outer, a 5 outer when I was behind. So you can't really bitch when it happens to you, right? But like I said, I told this story before. I'm playing up at Sahara and I'm playing in this tournament. I'm pretty sure it was a tournament. This one is when I stopped playing because it was crazy. And again, I can't really remember the hand, but I'll tell you one thing. There's two tables left, I believe. It was either 2 or 3. I can't really remember. But anyhow, we're down to this money situation. We're in the money already. I have a nice stack. The other person has a nice stack. You really don't want to play against the other guy that has you covered, or you barely have them covered in a no limit, right? But we get tangled. And I have like a straight. This dude all ins. I'm looking at the board like, is this for freaking real right now? With one card to come. I'm like, I got it straight. What's this dude doing? There's no pairs on the board. So it's literally, I'll just give you guys an idea. This is why I quit. Right here. This made me quit. There was a like a it was like a I don't really remember, but it was like, let's call it seven of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, uh jack of hearts, something along that lines on the board. I have a straight with that. Another card comes, whatever, black card. This dude shoves all in after we have a little altercation on the turn or on the flop on the turn. I'm like, shove all in. I'm like, oh, I got him covered. At least I thought I did, but it was close. I only had him, he had me covered by like 200 or something. But anyhow, I'm thinking he ain't calling. I got it straight. It's over. It's a wrap. Do you not believe this? This dude has like I said, it's seven, something like this, 7, 10, jack, but it's a red jack. This dude's holding something like 9, jack of diamonds. So there's a 7 of diamonds, a 9 of diamonds, a 10 of diamonds, a jack of diamonds with his hand, and there's a 1-outer for him to win. And I'm sitting there like, this freaking 8 or 7 or whatever it was better not come. This is like for the tournament. Me and him got like the top 2 stacks. There may be one other dude, but this means whoever wins this is probably going to win the tournament. There's only like 3 tables left or 2. When the freaking 8 of diamonds came or 7 of diamonds to give him a freaking straight flush, I said, I'm done. I'm never playing again. I was like, I'm never playing. This is over. This is not even cool with me. I'm like, no freaking way. And the worst part about it, that same weekend, I was at Binion's downtown in another tournament, and something similar to that happened with me with like 5 tables left, and me, him that's sitting next to me, and 2 other guys. So we had nice stacks. And that dude called me with 6-6 before the flop. So if you guys know poker, I'll explain. So he's sitting on my left side. So he plays after me. I play before him. So I raise the pot to make sure, I want some callers. I got king, king. Everybody else is doing this, just putting their money in, blind like level. So I raise it up like 5 times. The guy over here on the left, he sits there for a second. He re-raises me. And I'm like, this dude, the way he's been playing, I know he doesn't have ace. He might have jacks, he might have queens, but I know he doesn't have aces. So I'm like, I look down at his stack. I'm like, me and him are pretty close to level. I'm like, I'll take his re-raise because already I did 5 times the blinds plus everybody else's stuff who folded. He re-raised me, comes around, I shove all in. He sits there for a second. He decides, shoves all in. I'm like, was I wrong? There's no way he has aces. He turns over 6-6. I got king, king. I'm thinking, oh, oh. I'm looking around at the other stacks. I'm like, this is about to be a problem. This is about to be a problem. All of a sudden, 2, something along these lines again. 2 something like 247 or something of this nature. So I'm still feeling good. But then dude peels off a 5 and a 3. So the dude has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he has me covered by one chip. I'm out the tournament. That happened 2 days before. So when the thing happened at Sahara, I said, I had enough. This is crazy right now. Enough. I'm done. And that's when I hung it up. I was like, I'm never playing again. Never. So just so you guys understand, that's how it goes down. Appreciate you. Will T5, welcome back to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Very happy to see you once again. Hey, what's up? I was late. Who is the trader that you were talking about learning this technique? Oh, it's just a friend of mine that he was doing markups on Monday. Is that who you're referring to? Yeah, he's in Sacramento. He's like my nephew, and I'm gonna go see him in about 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, probably about a month from now. It'll be somewhere about a month to yeah, a month. I'll probably go over if he has the time when he does it, or even if he doesn't, because Monday, since he's doing markup, I'll just tell him whenever he does his markup, whatever time frame he does it, I want to come over. So I'll be over there to see what he's doing. Then I'm going to report what he's doing, because now that I understand a little more what's happening, then I'll be able to tell you. His contract should have mitigated all these contingencies. Maybe. I don't know how he does it. We will see. Post-retirement. Just curious, are you allowed to trash talk around the poker? Yes. 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 People trash talk. They trash talk. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because it's an ego thing, right? Because when you're pretty good, I don't really trash talk that much. My trash talking actually went like, I wouldn't call it trash talking, but it goes, my thing was like, hey, whenever I got into altercations, I would just tell the dude what he has in his hand. I'd be like, hey, man, I know you got whatever, ace, queen, and all in. That's about what I would be doing, right? Um, but other people get more aggressive, right? They'll start saying, personal attacks, and it gets aggressive. Like there's one guy, I'm in Punta Cana when I was at the Hard Rock when we had the Latin poker tour, and there's this guy I never met before, but there's a guy named Doyle Brunson who a lot of people know that's in the poker arena. He's very famous, and his grandson is sitting next to me, and his so Doyle came, his daughter came, his son came, all who I know because that was Pam, Doyle. Oh, what's his son's name? I can't remember. I haven't seen these guys in like 10 years, but nonetheless, her grandson sitting next to me, and there's this guy that he's friends with named Marco. So he started calling Marco Crazy Marco. So as we're sitting there, I start calling him Crazy Marco. Crazy Marco starts getting mad because he's like, I don't know you. You here shouldn't be calling me Crazy Marco. It was funny as hell. He started getting upset. So, I mean, that's about the only kind of little stuff. I mean, it's all in fun, but, people sometimes get a little upset over nothing. Because he's like, man, you can't call me Crazy Marco. I was like, dude, chill out. Me and him are having fun. Since he called you crazy, I'm calling you crazy. And by the way, you betting you are crazy. He took a little offense to it. But yeah, there's all kind of smack talking. Look forward to that info. Thanks, man. It'll be like next month, January 12th and 13th, 14th, whatever. So in fact, I can look at this right now and give you an idea because it's going to be on a Monday. So, oh wow, January 12th is a Monday. So it could be if it's not going to be January 12th, it'll be January 19th. So mark your calendar. January 12th, more than likely. All depends, but it should be that day. There's no holidays. January 19th is wait, that's Yeah, January 19th is a Monday, so that's a holiday. That should wait. Oh, damn. I think Trump took away Martin Luther King holiday and Juneteenth. Oh, man. That might not be a holiday next year. But anyhow, it'll probably be the 12th. We'll see. Or the 19th. It all depends. But more than likely, I'm going to try and do the 12th. Then I'll report back on Monday night, the 12th. So thank you for asking, and everybody else. If you guys want to know, mark your calendars. January 12th. I should be with this thing. I'm talking about condo guy, his contract. Oh, um, what's this now? Yeah, hold on a sec. No, Wilty T. That's the problem with DR. See, this is one of the problems that arises, man. Your contract does not matter. Just throw it out the window. When they say if we're late, we're going to pay you, that's just so you sign. Because once they're late, they're not paying you. When they say, um, well, we don't need to put anything in there for if the price is going to go up, the price isn't going to go up. Nah, it's going up. And if they put something in there like you got to put something in there for that saying uh, you can only limit it to 10% was like most of mine said, right? And that actually came up a lot because we most of the people that had Johan as their lawyer, he would always put a cap at 10%. That saved somebody. Like for me, if I'd have bought it Panorama, they did 18%, which is the difference of a $10,000 because you didn't get a lawyer. The lawyer only cost 1% of the price. So the lawyer was only $1,200-$1,300 at the time. So it went 135 for me, but for everybody else, it was 145. So everybody who had Johan paid 135 for that 10% increase. Everybody else, 145. So yeah, but in this case, their contract isn't going to allow for again, they can charge whatever they want. So that's what happens. At Christopher, people bought Christopher's for 40 grand for a one bedroom, 50 grand for a two bedroom, 66,000 for the penthouse, 2 or 3 bedroom penthouse unit. Christopher finishes it, that 66,000 unit, 97,000, 30 grand more. The 50 some thousand is 67,000. The 40 some thousand is like 57,000. People went ballistic, of course. They were late, whatever. Lawsuits flew, and people lost whatever. And all the projects raised the prices. Okay, not all. 99.9% raised their prices, regardless of what the contract says. And so you don't pay, you're not going to get delivered the title. So that is a lot of stuff that was going on as time unfolds. And due to pandemic, prices increase 1 year 40% for construction cost. So now they had no incentive, right? And now they put all these in the contracts after the pandemic that they can raise the price. And it fluctuates. So now you got to go get your lawyer to deal with them. And your lawyer's going to go, well, hey, man, I need a couple $1,000s. It's crazy. And this is one of the reasons why everybody who bought before, at least the places are being built, right? But the problem is we got, I don't remember the number. It's over 50 to 60 people that bought projects in DR. And it just wears on me because I was like, man, these guys bought, and then you at the end, delivery, you're getting hemmed up. Oh, well, you got to give us an extra 15%. Oh, well, it's going to be another year or two before we're finished. I mean, it's just too much for me. I was like, you know what? F you guys, and you owe me money. Yeah, I had some little money issues myself. I still have money sitting on the island. You know, it's crazy. But anyhow, just letting you know. But yeah, trash talk is allowed. And trash talk does happen. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Limits are needed. The limits don't matter, like I said, even with an attorney. But it does help if it's in writing the limit, because there's several people that had a regular contract and it would say 3.5, uh, something like this. They'll cover 3.5% inflation based on the one statistic. And if it goes above 3.5, then you have to cover that. And we'll cover before 3.5. Then they went, well, we'll cover it based on the year. So now it ended up, then they would switch things up, because now delivery isn't in, let's call it 2025. Delivery is now going to be in 2026. So now the inflation for next year is going to be included too. All kind of crazy stuff was starting to happen. So I was like, hold on, man, y'all acting effed up right now. And the government, the judicial system is effed up. They're non-existent. They have a judicial system, but the judicial system is not concentrating on the real estate game. Initially, they had these little rules and all this. So I thought comforture and all this, wrong. They started not paying attention. They were just enjoying all the influx of tourists, the influx of money and investments by these multi-million dollar corporations and all this. And they stopped worrying about the foreigners or people from DR, citizens of DR, when they're making investments in these properties. And they didn't make rules to make sure that's a mitigated situation without people having to get lawyers. So it just started getting out of hand. And nothing has ever been really changed on that front. So it's crazy out there. Crazy. With or without an attorney. With an attorney is actually better, because at least you know that the people own the land or have a contract to purchase the land based on monthly income. At least you need an attorney for that. So it's well worth the 1%. So if you're buying a property for 200 G's and you got to pay 2,000, and they handle the closing on the backside as well, then that's worth it. But again, you might get a year before talking something like, well, inflation was 5%, so we're going to cover the 3%, but you owe 3% more. We're going to tack it onto your last payment, or over cut it out, split it over the remaining payments, whatever. But again, this is not what you envisioned, right? Even though you signed the contract, because you saw that inflation was only 3% the previous 2 years. But as each year goes by, you don't know what it's going to be. Just like right now, I don't know what the one's inflation is over there. But most contracts were either 3 or 3.5%. And when they're late, no problem, because you already paid your 3 years or 2.5 years. But again, you just got to keep in mind, that's one of the problems. Mr. Compensation is back. Post-retirement travel. Mr. Compensation has YouTube channels, so make sure you go hit their icon, go over there. Mr. Worldwide's going to be on a tour soon, and go to the Instagram pages. Go follow each one of them. Got to show some love. Speaking of showing some love, it's cold outside. It's time for beachfront Java, ladies and gentlemen. You got to put in SSN Lifestyle, all caps, all one word, as a code, so you can get discounts after your first order. Our own Professor Auntie Val and fam got to show some love for people that are with us, right? SSN Lifestyle, all caps, all one word. And after that, when you hit comments or whatever, let them know, hey, I'm from SSN Nation, SSN Lifestyle. But remember, the promo code's got to be SSN Lifestyle, all caps, all one word. Beachfrontjava.com. Coffee, tea, special blends, half-pound bags up to 5-pound bags, Keurig, whole beans, fine ground, regular ground, something for everybody. And the blends are off the charts. So go over there and get that handled, all right? So we'll end it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you so much for being here on this Friday night. Again, I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support, but don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. Everybody listening on the podcast, don't forget about the star for the favorites. That's right. Got to do it, because you never know. Somebody riding with you might need to hear this. And everybody else, make sure you guys show some love that way. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on Monday. No, I won't. By the way, Monday I'm going to have to work on something. All right. I don't know what I'm going to work on yet because I'm going to be flying on Monday during this time. So I won't be able to do the live stream. Maybe I'll have a guest. If anybody wants to be a guest host, special guest host, let me know. All right. Because we can do that on EV Mux. In fact, now that I'm talking about EV Mux, do we have a referral code? Okay. But anyhow, I think we can do that on EV Mux. I can have somebody be a host. So let me see. The only host that can be on would be First Up members could be a host. So if you're interested in your member, you could be a host, or it's going to have to be somebody that I trust. All right. Okay. Now that's how it's going to be. All right. Support at Stop Struggling Now or any other platform down below in the comments section, whatever. Oh, how can I forget? Thank you, everybody, for being here. Bankus. There's a special Bankus promotion I posted. Oh, my God. Tonight, they had a live stream. I don't know what was going on, but somebody put in all kind of sexual, explicit content, bombarded the Zoom call. Oh, man. And it was guy on guy. I was like, you know how you're listening and you're looking up, and next thing I know, I see some dudes, and then I see some dudes, and I'm like, what the frick's going on? I hear the N word and all kind of stuff. I guess somebody's mad about something because they bombarded this Zoom call. But nonetheless, Bankus is a crypto credit card, and again, I'm going to put a link down. I don't have the Zoom information for Friday and Saturday, but somebody's upset with somebody to actually do what they did. I don't know why, but I'm going to find out. But on Tuesday and Thursdays, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., you want to go over there and check out that. But I'm going to put it in the chat room. This is for Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not going to put in the one for Friday. It's tomorrow night because after what happened tonight, so I mean, that was crazy. That was wild. I was like, what the hell's going on? I heard some words, and then I was like, a picture flashed, and I was like, I saw just skin. Then a picture flashed, and I was like, wait, that's guys naked. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm not gay. I don't, nah, man. I want to see naked dudes, in a sexual situation. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I was like, what the? And I was like, okay, I got to turn this off. This is crazy right now. But haven't had this problem on Tuesday and Thursday. So that was a different call. This is like the corporate one on Tuesday and Thursday. This one was apparently somebody else. But anyhow, the link to get the app is below. It doesn't cost you to get the app. Just use my link, please, because if you do sign up, then they do have you get a little part of if you decide to get the card. They have the card. It's shipped to America. People are using it. Maybe I don't have anything to. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Next time I do a live or anything, I'll add the WhatsApp group so you guys can join that. Monday, they have a corporate. Don't miss Monday, December 15th, 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. They have a special. Go to if you're part of the SSN Lifestyle WhatsApp group, I posted it up today. Don't miss Monday. That is the official launch day. They're showing offices in Mexico City. The Bankus offices are in Mexico City, all right? Again, the reason why I like this card is a Visa card you can use all over the world. No KYC at the moment, which is weird in itself. But you can use crypto to load up the card. So it terminates at the card. Again, we were talking about poker. I did online poker. And I'll say this again. When America blocked online poker, and meaning They didn't block it where you couldn't play. What they blocked was you couldn't send money to the offshore poker room, nor could the offshore poker room send money back to American players. So that was a problem. But because we had NetTeller, Payoneer, those are the only two I remember, they were not inside America. So me and other people would just send our winnings to our NetTeller or Payoneer card because it's not functioned by the American government. And that's how we would get our money. And by the way, I wouldn't have even had to report it because it's not in US territory. They're not sending any reports to the IRS because they're not in America. So now America doesn't even know. All they know is I play poker. They can see the, internet maybe. But as far as getting paid, it's sent outside the US. And at the time, the US didn't have what they have now, which is they had, now that's what spurred the US to make an agreement with like the EU and about another 200 countries to make sure they can go in and get information on United States citizens, banking and brokerage accounts outside of America. And other countries agreed. And you know why? Because they pressured them. Well, you can't get US citizens. You won't have a bank in the US. So you can't get, and all that stuff. And like I said, almost all the countries signed except for like 11. And out of that, 5 or 6 of those already signed agreements that they were going to sign up in a year or two. So now you're down to maybe less than 5 countries that will not report or give information that a U.S. citizen that has any banking in their country or with this particular company. I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyhow, I just have this thing about I just try to make sure I have money outside of America, banking accounts. This is another one since it'll be outside of America. I don't plan on loading this up with hundreds of thousands of dollars or anything, but I still want some money outside, a few thousands at least, and I take my risk. Maybe these guys will steal it, maybe not, but I know America steals my money too. Has stolen my money in the past by having it in a bank, in a safe deposit box, raiding the bank, opening up everybody's and telling me, come on down, but you didn't have no money in there and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is crazy stuff. You guys don't know where you live. I'm like, there's robbers, all right. And government's one of them. All right. Like I said, there's people. And whoever told me to go check out the Peter Schiff thing, I did. Everything he's saying, when he says what I used to tell people, what do you mean? I didn't do nothing wrong. It's all regulated. It's all this. We got paperwork, da da da. Same thing. They took all his stuff, shut it down. And then after they found out everything's fine, they still said, no, no, no. The government of Puerto Rico, vis-a-vis U.S. government, came in, took his stuff, shut him down. And he had hundreds of millions of dollars in those accounts. So people don't think this happens. It happens. All right. So, like I said, just be very careful. So, bankers cards is what I talk about. I'm down now. Again, they haven't been in business that long. This is relatively new, but there are crypto cards. So you can send crypto to the card. I think you can send fiat too, but for my purposes, crypto works fine because with the CoinX, they use crypto. So it's simple. All right. So, and then I had an argument with a friend of mine because I'm not really trying to hide the money. I don't really care about that. I just don't want the US to be able to get it. I have no problem with them knowing I have it. I just don't want them to be able to just take it because again, once you've had that happen, you get a little leery, just like your great grandparents or grandparents when the Great Depression came, banks closed. You ain't keeping your money in a bank at that point when you can't go get money, right? Because at that time, either money was in the bank or it was in a mattress. And then once it got safer, people were putting it in a bank. And then once it closes up, people are like, hell no, I ain't putting my money in a bank. You lost your mind. They took my money before. I had to pay rent. Had to get food. I couldn't. They're on bank holiday talking about it's all going to be good a week later. Meanwhile, I'm out here starving. My family's starving. Hell no, it's not going to be in a bank. You forget that. So Same rules apply. So you got to protect yourself out here. Just be careful. All right. Your brokerage accounts as well. They take brokerage accounts too. I'm not, I'm talking about the whole, a bank has a brokerage account. Thousands of customers are in their brokerage account. All of a sudden, the bank splits. The bank sells their savings and checking accounts. But now, what to do with the brokerage account portion? But it's in limbo. This happened to me too. It's in limbo. What do you mean it's in limbo? I'll just take my money. No, we're gonna. It's part of our assets under management, and we need somebody to take this. Yeah, okay. 6 months later, 8 months later, a year later. What the? See, people. This doesn't happen so often where it's mainstream or anything, but it happens. And when it happens to you, you don't feel so safe anymore. All right. So just keep that in mind. So this is why I'll take a chance to see how this all works. Our friends, I'll have a Bankers card. Oh yeah, also a month from now too. But yeah, a month from now because it's going to be in a different location. So I'll be getting it then, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right. So might have it sooner. It all depends if I'm able to divert, then maybe I'll have it sooner. But if you get a card by Monday before December 15th, they have a promo going on. So apparently, if you have a card that you ordered a card, then I don't know the deal. Again, I'm not even privy. I don't really care. I just want the card. I don't keep really upset, but you guys can check out this. Well, Tuesday will be too late. So that means I might have to run a video tomorrow about. In fact, I haven't even ran a Bankus video, so maybe I should. So you guys will find out a crypto debit card, and again, it's a debit card, prepaid basically. So it's a good deal as far as I'm concerned. Make sure you get it, download it, at least download it and peruse and check it out, and go online. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you decide to do it, so be it. That means you ordered the card. $85 for the metal card. They still don't have the plastic one anymore. So it's $85 delivered because they charge $10 already, is already included for shipping. All right. And people are getting their cards in the USA. So it's all good. So I'll see you guys on, well, if it's Monday, unlikely. Wednesday, more than likely. Hopefully, we have a special guest on Monday for you guys, a special guest host. That would be awesome. And again, just make sure no matter what you do out here, be safe. A lot of mayhem's going on. We have government arresting or detaining U.S. citizens. We have bad guys doing bad things. It's Christmas time. So people are raiding homes, they're raiding whatever, stores, homes, businesses, everything. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people don't have a check. So just make sure you stay safe and keep your family safe. And just remember, above all else, ladies and gentlemen, keep your head up. Keep moving.